Brothers Wisp. The Brothers Wisp, Brothers Wisp.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy with the Brothers Wisp. I'm here at the Peraso booth here at Wisp America with Nadine and Mike. Nadine, what is your role here?
Yes, so I work for Peraso, headquartered out of Toronto for the technical side at least, and I'm the product marketing manager. So we carry on.
Well, I got Nadine. I also have Mike here.
Hey, I'm out of San Jose, and I'm the VP of Business Development for Peraso. So I'll turn it over to Nadine.
Yeah. so she does all the fun stuff, and you have to deal with the people.
Yeah, I got to deal with lots of people.
So, all right, what does Peraso do?
So we are a 60 gigahertz company. We do baseband and RFIC integrated modules, so everything integrated tightly onto one module. And then those get used by various different companies, such as Milliwave, Ubiquiti, to give all the different types of products for fixed wireless access.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So all integrated. I see a couple different chips that you guys here. What's that lineup kind of looking like?
Yeah, so what's different in them? The baseband's always the same, but the difference is the configuration of the RFIC. So we range from 16 array elements all the way up to 128, completely depending on the use case and the requirements of the customer.
Okay. And you guys aren't making end radios. You just make the chipsets. You're kind of a Qualcomm, Broadcom kind of.
Yeah, so we make the modules, integrated baseband and radio, and then they get used by our customers to build out the final product, the final box.
And you guys actually have a couple of those here today, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
So we're pleased to see that one of our major customers is Ubiquiti, as a lot of people know already.
Yeah.
But we have some new vendors. Milliwave is at the show for the first time this year, and they have a line of new products that are really interesting. And a lot of people are familiar with Tachyon, and they've been in the market for a couple of years now with our systems. So those are exciting products for us to expand a whole different use cases. And we're seeing a lot of growth in 2024 now that kind of COVID's over and people are ramping up their networks again.
Okay, cool. And I think I talked to you about this a little bit earlier. You guys are just making the 60 gigahertz. If the manufacturer's doing 5 gigahertz as well, that's their own thing.
That's correct.
Okay.
So there's different choices. Some people will integrate that themselves into the box, and others might connect it and make their own choices about the failover usage, maybe aggregating with the 60, different choices.
Okay, cool. So you've got Milliwave, Tachyon. Are there any other manufacturers that guys might see in the American or Western Hemisphere?
Well, actually, probably they wouldn't see other OEMs, but there are other companies that are developing for in-house use. So we have some WISPs that are actually building their own hardware strictly for their own consumption, and so they can totally customize design and control the cost and everything on their own system.
Wow, that's actually a really cool concept.
So it was exciting here at the show. Yesterday, one guy pulled out of his backpack his new circuit board, and it's got a place for our module, and he's got his microprocessor on there, and he's going to build a mesh network based on the 60 gigahertz from Peraso.
Wow. Okay. And you guys actually have a really, really flexible product.
Yeah. So we control the baseband and the RF and the module, so we can help any developer, make his own dream come true on the full system development, and doesn't have to deal with a bunch of different vendors.
Okay. Cool. So you're controlling. You provide the chipset. You have firmware and such that the manufacturer can then integrate inside of their own system and do their own tweaking and tuning.
That's right.
So, what's the latest on the firmware that you guys have capability-wise?
Yeah, so we provide the firmware. If I was to choose the top 3 most recent features, things like we support 32 clients per access point. We've developed our own interference mitigation. So there's different types of options if you want to make sure if you have 32 users connected to an access point and then a number of different deployments, you don't want to get any interference. So you can use things like flexible Golang codes in certain products. But for ours, we did our own implementation. We call it BSS separation, so that you and stay focused communication, so that you make sure that the station that you want to be talking to the access point is.
Okay, wow. Okay, that's actually really, really impressive. And that's just going straight out to manufacturers. They just package it up,
Yep.
and so we get to if we want a particular feature that you guys have implemented, we just need to harass the manufacturers and tell them, hey, we want
That's right.
Barassa's got it for you.
Yeah.
Just do it. All right.
Yeah, you have to make sure you're on the latest. We give source code for the driver. And we're adding the third one. I was going to just say three. The third one was in the driver layer. We're going to be adding a bridging capability so that you can. It will be like a hub and spoke topology, but with extensions, so that you can build out more of a network where you can have an AP communicate with another AP.
Okay, so they'll more kind of tightly tie together the AP and the CPE so that they work more as a single unit. And it looks more of a invisible bridge,
Right.
For whatever your application is. That's really cool. And then you're all just doing Ethernet packets, right?
It looks like wireless Ethernet, yes.
Okay.
I mean, you wouldn't know the difference between an Ethernet cable connecting two devices or it communicating over 60 gigahertz.
Yeah.
Because you're talking like gigabits per second, and it's transparent to the user.
That's awesome. All right.
We should also note that actually on the Milliwave system, they've actually implemented a coax connector, so they can do a coax connection to the users who have.
Actually, I was really excited about that, and we have a Facebook post going up tonight about that. It's like, hey, we're doing MDUs. It's actually a really cool.
That's a good
feature.
use case is MTUs, where you bring a very high-speed multi-gigabit link to an MTU and then fan it out in the building with coax. The infrastructure is already in the building.
Yeah, and that's doing, and that's not just a node. It'll actually be the head controller.
The head end will be there with the Milliwave head end unit. So
Yeah, this was really kind of cool, and not super power intensive either. You guys are really efficient.
yeah,
with power.
so we have a number of customers now that are deploying in areas where the electrical grid is really bad, really flaky, and so they'll have a battery backup and be able to switch over to battery backup and keep these alive for several hours on a reasonable battery, and that really helps with reliability and availability.
Yeah, and that can be solar powered as well.
Yeah.
You can have a solar charger, solar backup too.
Yeah, so and you guys are sipping power. I think
It's
most
low.
of the stuff I've seen is it's 10 around watts. plus
Yeah.
or minus.
Yeah, that's the typical for the radio. Yeah.
Yeah, which is really awesome. All right, well, what other things have we not talked about yet?
I think just one of the interesting things, since we're just currently talking about the Milliwave box, is that they built in a heater for the box, so that if
Yes.
it's very cold, icy, snowing, it helps mitigate that.
Yeah, so that built-in heater. You don't get that on a lot of radios.
No.
And that's actually really can be very useful.
Yeah.
And as I recall talking to them, it was like a 32-watt heater. So it's pretty powerful. All right, well, thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. We'll catch you around at Wispapalooza.
Yes, indeed.
And then if people want to reach out to you, just your guys have a website.
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
Yep, ParassoInc.com.
ParassoInc.com. Looking forward to sending people your guys' way.
Thank you.
The Brothers Wisp. The Brothers.
You're now listening to Greg, it's the Brothers Wisp. Let's take a ride through space on this mothership. Wireless networking, we talk about equipment and methodology, so sit back and start learning. Lighten up the tower so people can start searching. Shooting up the web in neighborhoods, net surfing. We got horrible jokes, we're loud and annoying, but we're informative facts, we're not disappointing. Just give us a listen, cause fun is the mission. I'm telling you, you don't know what you are missing. Ideas and some good comedy given. If you missed the show already, don't worry, you're forgiven.